Welcome everyone, this is hole 1 at the links at Dred Scott in Bloomington, Minnesota. This hole, a pretty straightforward par 2, a little bit of rough on the right and a little bit of out of bounds behind the hole, so you just want to keep it in front of the hole and you'll be fine. This is one of the easier holes on the course and there are some doozies. Hole 2, a par 3. Again, generally speaking, a pretty straight shot here. Some hills to your left. Obviously, the rocks right in front of you. The hole here, pretty much in the center, and there is a drop off behind the hole into a water hazard. So again, you don't want to go too far and fast. Water comes into play quite a bit throughout this course, and then some out of bounds left here, as you can see. Again, remember, keep the ball on the green putting surface. All right, par 3, hole 3, another par 3. This hole is a straight shot with a little rough to your right, some rocks in the middle, a sand trap actually behind the hole. And then, again, just a straight shot. If you can putt it straight, you're going to be fine. If you get left, if you get right, you're going to run into trouble. And if you go too far, you're going to run into trouble. Out of bounds to the back right, but I just don't see that coming into play really in any meaningful way. Okay, hole number 4 here. This is a par 2. And again, this hole is a little bit tricky. It's a straight shot to the hole if you can hit it straight. There's a bridge to the left, which again, if you land on there, you'd be out of bounds. And there is water behind the hole as well. And this is a bit tricky. Again, if you can hit it straight and if you go soft, you're going to be fine. If you go a little too hard, you're going to find yourself in the water. All right, hole 5 is a par 3. This is actually a jump right here. And there is a rock, and then you could see there's water here right in the middle. I did my best to capture this. There's a jump there. You've got to get over that water hazard via the jump. There's a rock right behind the hole, so if you hit it straight, you'll be fine. Again, this course benefits straight hitters, and then there's some sand behind that rock as well. This is an interesting hole. You obviously don't want to launch it. You're going to be in trouble there. All right, this is a straight shot with a twist because as you can see here, this hole number 6, a par 3, is up on a little mini hill. And it's a little bit tough to tell from this video, but it's one of those hills where it's hard to explain it, but you got to hit it straight. You can get up on that hill without going into the cup, but you could come back the other way and go right back down it as well. So again, a very challenging hole. You could justify putting right in front of that hill on one and then trying to sneak it up on your second shot for a birdie if possible. Again, you go too far, you're going right off the other end. You come back, you're going right off the other end. All right, hole 7 is a par 3. There's 2 holes here that actually shoot down onto a separate section of this hole. This front cup is the one you want to avoid. This back cut is the one you want to use. Back cup, excuse me. And down here on the second part of the green, that back cup kind of shoots it right directly to the hole. Actually, a real eagle possibility if you can get it in there. And then the second shoot, if you will, hits it, dumps it down to the right here, and you'll get a little quick glimpse of that at the end of this video here. So there's the hole. Here comes this to your left right about now is the shoot from the rear end, and then this one over here is the closest shoot. So again, you want to go to the one in the back. All right, hole 8's a par 2. Again, straight shot, but this one has a lot of hills, up and down, up and down. And then there's a sand trap behind. Now, the interesting thing about this course is that it's difficult to see this, but it's really, really hilly, really curvy. So again, a really difficult course. Apparently, the course record's a 37, according to Tom at the clubhouse. Good luck with that. Must have been Tom Lehman or something. Hole 9, this is the only par 4 on the course. And This is, if you could keep it to the right of this rock here and hit it right onto the bridge, you can bounce it off that bridge and dump it back, you'll see here, towards the back of the hole. There is, I would call it an outside chance at a double eagle. I don't think it'll ever happen. It's probably happened at one point, because there is actually, I believe that's actually water behind the hole. I could be wrong. It might be a sand trap. Yes, I think it's a sand trap. But this is a par 4. So if you can get back into this area, again, you don't want to go too hard because you're going to end up in that sand trap behind there. This will be an interesting hole to see how people want to play this, considering it's the only par 4 on the course. All right, hole 10, a par 3. This one has rocks. This one has rough. This one has water. Would be a difficult hole to eagle if you consider the position of the cup in the back left section. Now this course isn't open yet this year, so we weren't able to get the flags out. What you'll see at the end of this section here is you'll actually see a little dip into the water. And so you want to stay left. I'd almost rather end up in the rough than in the water. You can play it right out of the rough. You obviously can't play it out of the water. So stick around here while I spin around. And there is your water trap there. Keep in mind, there's a little sand back here as well. Keep in mind that these rocks are not really big, the ones that are outlining the holes, and there's a big opportunity where if you hit it at a high rate of speed, your ball could fly right out of the hole. Or, yeah, off the hole. Okay, hole 11, par 3. This is hard to tell on video, but this hill, it goes down and then comes right back up, is very, very, very steep. One of those things where if you miss the hole coming back, let's say your tee shot goes past the hole and you get it up there. If you miss the hole coming back, it's going down that hill. It just is. I mean, you'd really be a tough time with it not. Now watch here. I'm going to show you coming back how steep this hill is. And if it does come back, you can find yourself right back on the tee box. So this is a really, really, really difficult hole. And, playing these holes for a par is probably going to be the right strategy. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but it might be the right strategy when you could end up double, triple, quadruple bogeying a hole like this. Now we'll get a quick look here at the slope back down. A lot of easy holes on this course. This is not one of them. That's a big up. Okay, here we go. Hole 12 is a par 3. This is one of those holes where you can kind of see the ledges on the side of the green is really, really, really shallow. You could find yourself off the course really quickly and easily. Again, this is a hole that would be very difficult to eagle. Play it down into this section here, and you can kind of see with the different shades of green, kind of where the slope is on this hole. And then there's water behind this hole as well. Okay, so again, be aggressive if you'd like, but ending up in the water is of course not going to be what you want to do when we're only playing 36 holes for an event. At majors, we'll play 72 holes, and I could definitely see this course being a site for one of our majors. It's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, well-kept course. Okay, now the course gets significantly easier from here on out. This is a par 3 here. Again, you're going to want to keep it right here. The course gets a lot easier after this next hole. This hole is not too bad, all things considered. There's water to your left. There's water behind you. Playing to the left of that rock is going to be really, really, really risky. Going to the right of it, you can see there's a little hill here. If you go too hard, you could find yourself in the water there behind. I absolutely love how this course place has water around the whole thing. It's just absolutely spectacular. I love it. Okay. Now is when things get a little bit cleaner. Hole 14, a par 3. You're going to want to lay this ball up before that sand trap, right before that rock, and then it's a straight shot over the top. I shouldn't say it's a straight shot over the top. It's easy for me to say here, but it's a shot over the top into the hole there. And again, you're not going to want to go too hard over that mound, or you could find yourself out of the back of the course. And again, that would be out of bounds. And of course, a little bit of water to your right. Why not? Okay, the rest of the holes are actually par 2s. Hole 15 here. Rough to your left, rough to your right. Again, if you land in that rough, you're going to play out of it. And the hole is back there, right in the center. This is I don't want to say it's an easy birdie, because it's not, because it's a par 2, but a pretty straightforward par, if you will. And again, these types of holes are going to be, if you want to win tournaments, you're gonna hit these straight in hole in one. That'll determine who's going to win these things. Hole 16, a par 2. A really big bank, I guess you could call it here, right above that rock. If you wanted to play it to the left, you certainly could. You'd avoid the rough to the right. Your ball would pick up some speed, and again, look at behind the hole. Just a little thin rock there. You could easily find yourself right out of the back of the course. But again, a pretty straightforward par 2. One of the more difficult par 2s on the course, but certainly not a difficult hole. All right, 2 holes left. Hole 17 here. Again, an upward, up a couple of hills. Rough to your right, rough to your left. There's some sand behind the hole as well, which you're going to want to stay out of. And yeah, there's the hole. Pretty straightforward. The course has some pretty specific sand rules, which we'll go over before the tournaments here. I don't believe they allow you to play it out of the sand, because I don't think it's actually sand. More on that later. All right, hole 18, a par 2, rough to the right, rough to the left. Perfect spot to set up the live stream at the end of the tournaments. If you're down by 1, you got to hole this one out to force extra holes. A really nice, straightforward par 2 to finish out the course. Again, this is the links at Dred Scott in Bloomington, Minnesota. An absolutely spectacular course. I recommend you coming out and giving it a try before one of our tournaments, in preparation for a tournament, or an upcoming tournament. Thank you.